Alright, so we're back working on the whole water or overheating problem. Got some gaskets for stuff like this. A bunch of good Fel-Pro ones. I couldn't order genuine Toyota ones because they just don't make them anymore. So we got the thermostat, the outlet, and of course the water pump. So we're just going to continue cleaning off this surface and same with the others. I also have some leftover red RTV high temp gasket maker, which I will use just because it's good to have it there. I also went out and bought a O-ring set, which was actually a really good deal. It was only 20 bucks, and it came with everything I would ever need, which is pretty friggin' sweet. So I just gotta find the one that matches up to that little bypass tube, which goes to right there. As we can see, our old O-ring is basically just disintegrated on that. So I just need to find one that fits, and we're good to go. And I've also got some leftover 20 gauge steel from when we did the body work on this and a couple other projects. So you can use this to make some mounts for our new radiator. And I also have some thicker, ow, I just stabbed myself anyways. I got some thicker, that's either my 16 or 18 gauge steel that came from an old furnace tank, which I might use for the bottom. So we might make some tabs for that. And in my magical pocket, if I can get them off, got some self-tapping screws. They're easy to work with. These are for putting the mounts on. I got a couple extra just in case, but I should only need 4. And these should fit right into the radiator tabs because they are already threaded. But, you know, just to make things fit nice and tight, self-tappers. We also have a better source of music. Now, there's 2 radios in here, but reception is always weird. And I still have my old LG V30, so I hooked up some old Dell speakers to it. And that's just going to keep me going. So first things first, I'm going to find an O-ring that fits. And then we're going to clean up their gasket surfaces and whatnot and get ready to put the gaskets on. I also picked up one of these funnel buckets a while ago. These things are great. So basically this just lets you bleed the system very easily. And I haven't tested it yet, but I've been wanting to. Now I've done something like this before, but I had to, actually the funnel's right there. That's the one I had to use the first time around. It didn't work all that well, it kind of leaked. So it's good that we have an actual one now, because these things rock. They make things so much easier when working with coolant. So, should be a pretty straightforward day. Not sure how long this will take me, but anyways, let's get started. Alright, so I did find an O-ring that fits on there. That should hopefully be enough. This O-ring set is great. This is going to last me a long time. I'm really happy I picked this up. Really good deal. I cannot believe I got that for 20 bucks. Alright, so here's what I got going for the straps. So that's a self-tapper, and on the other side I have a bolt that fits the thread pitch. And even with just one, this is already really solid in there, so 2 should be no problem. And I cleaned up the sides, made it look a little bit pretty, and these are going to get spray painted black. Alright, so I just chuck a couple blotches of black paint on there to keep that from rusting, just in case water gets in there. And I got the space heater over here, and we've got some black paint going on these now. So I'm going to put a couple coats on. They're probably going to go on weird, but I don't care how they look just because it's cold in here. So, it's coming along great. Alright, so I got these drying. I've got RTV on everything here, and I also put some in there just to be extra safe, and also put some on the outside of that bypass tube. So what I do here is I'm just letting all of this dry a little bit so it can be crushed rather than just be like glue, and then it'll make a better bond and a better seal. So first thing that's going to go on is the thermostat. That one's almost done, and then we'll go with the outlet and then the water pump last. Alright, so got the space heater blasting on the water pump and the thermostat and the little outlet there, and a little bypass at the bottom. Yeah, it's kind of messy right now, but as long as it seals, I don't really care. So we're going to see how this turns out first, and if it doesn't make a difference, we will go to the electric water pump. But I want to try this first, and that is the pump off of the 4A block over there. So we'll see how this works. Alright, all of the gasket maker has set. Got the belt back on. I might have to take this back off. I did fix what was causing that squealing, so I just took a new bolt with a nut on one side, and now this alternator's not going anywhere. So now we gotta put our radiator in. Actually, I should check if the brackets are dry. Been sitting over here. I imagine they probably are. Oh yeah, nice and dry. Perfect. Cool. Another thing I did was I had to extend the wires and put a new plug on this fan. This is the plug for the stock wiring harness, and I just attached it and extended it. Ran out of electrical tape, but I did have shrink wrap at least. So that's all soldered and good to go. So now we can start putting this in. But first I should probably put that timing cover on. Alright, we're just about ready to start bleeding the whole cooling system. The radiator is in there nice and solid. One thing is the overflow. I need to get a new line because this isn't quite long enough. This is actually supposed to be rotated that way. So we'll figure that out. I'll get a new line. Although that's fun to play with, not to eat. Anyways, we just got to get the carb hat on, get that all sorted out, and then we can start putting some coolant in. Alright, everything is connected. This is on. Got rid of the EGR because this thing, it serves no purpose. It's just emission shit, and this car is exempt from emissions because it was built before 1991, at least in Nova Scotia. So it doesn't matter. So I've got some gasket stuff in there, and I cut that off and put a plate in. Whatever. Last piece of the puzzle. Gotta put the wing nut on. Now it's time to fill up the radiator. Moment of truth. Okay, I think it's time to start it up. Okay, so I've got the heat maxed. It's been sitting at a really good temperature, but watch when I rev it. It just drops real fast. That radiator's doing its job very well. Yeah, it moves down quite a bit once you start revving it a bit. So it's definitely working better.
The motherfucking world is a ghetto, full of magazines, full clips, and heavy metal when the smoke settles. I'm just looking for a big yellow. It's 6-inch stilettos, Dr. Dre. Hello. Percolating, keep 'em waiting while you sitting there hating. Your bitch is hyperventilating, hoping that we penetrating. You get snating, cause I never been to Satan. For hardcore administrating, gangbang affiliating. MC Winner had you wildin' off a zone and a whole half a gallon. Get the dialing, 911 emergency. You can tell him, it's my son, he's hurting me, and he's a felon. On parole for robbery, ain't no cop in the plea. Ain't no stopping the G. I'm in the 6, you got to hop in the 3. Company monopoly, you handle shit sloppily. I drop a key properly. They call me the dynamic.